Yeah. New year, new hair. Keith Thurman don't care. he wants to smoke now. Everybody can say what they want to say, but I heard that he sent the second contract to Bob Arum trying to fight Terence Crawford. And it might not be the best idea, but he still is ready to go there. You know what I mean? He wants to fight Crawford. Crawford can fight, and I believe Crawford is willing to fight. I don't think if anybody goes in Crawford's face acting like they want to fight, Crawford's gonna turn them down. If anything, if you ask Crawford to fight in his face, he'll probably punch you in the face. But Bob Arum isn't making this fight easy to be made. You know what I mean? In this day and age, when all the top fighters are somewhat ducking each other, in my opinion, just my opinion, why is Bob Arum stopping this fight from happening? $1 million to a fighter like Keith Thurman is disrespectful. I was disrespected by that. You know what I mean? You have to take into account that Keith Thurman is a ex-unified champ, right? He's the first person who legitimately beat Garcia. Everybody could say, oh, well, you know, this guy really beat Garcia in that fight, or that guy beat Garcia in this fight. I gotta be honest. In those fights that Garcia lost, that people say he lost at least, you know, to like, I think it was Lamont Peterson and Mauricio Herrera. I mean, those fights both were arguable, man. You could have argued both of those fights could have went to Garcia, in my opinion. But when Garcia fought Keith Thurman, that was a legitimate loss. I might have gave Garcia maybe 1 or 2 rounds at the most. That was a unanimous decision, in my opinion. Even though in the latter half of the fight, Keith Thurman chose to box and dance, he still outlanded Garcia cleanly, obviously, and flushly. That's just my opinion. Keith Thurman's only loss is to Manny legendary M16 machine gun Pacquiao. That's the only person who legitimately beat Keith Thurman. A lot of people say, oh, Keith Thurman has a weakness to the body. It wasn't a body shot that dropped Keith Thurman. It wasn't a body shot. Keith Thurman never been dropped by a body shot. Keith Thurman got dropped by a chin check. And I got to be real. He got back up and he kept shooting them hands. In that round that Keith Thurman got dropped in, Keith Thurman was winning that round, in my opinion, up until he got dropped. In that fight against Manny Pacquiao hurt Keith Thurman at least 3 or 4 times. And I feel like that's what gave him the fight against Keith Thurman. Otherwise, Keith Thurman outlanded him. And that's just from my observation. He outlanded him, but here goes the game. Pacquiao can't land flush punches on you. Anybody Pacquiao lands flush punches on is gonna be hurt. So all these fighters who are pining for this Pacquiao fight, all right, it sounds good, but when you get in there with him, you're gonna notice that you're in there with a guy who has calves the size of footballs. You're in there with a guy who's not gonna get tired. You're in there with a guy who trains all the time. You're in there with a guy who, although he's been stopped, Pacquiao got a good chin. If that Thurman fight didn't prove that Pacquiao has a good chin, I don't know what did. You know what I mean? If Thurman was to fight Crawford, the biggest tell in that fight to me is the durability, because although Thurman offensively, in my opinion, is good, defensively and his body durability, in my opinion, aren't as good as Crawford. Crawford's defense is a little bit solider than Keith Thurman's, and Crawford's durability, in my opinion, is a little bit better than Keith Thurman's, because even in the fights that Keith Thurman like beat on his opponents, he took a little bit of damage. You know, I don't like to see fighter take that type of damage. If you think about the Josecito Lopez fight, Thurman was beating Josecito Lopez from one round to the other round up until Josecito Lopez hurt him. You know what I mean? He hurt Thurman and it didn't look good. It wasn't a good look. Crawford, on the other hand, is a beast. You know what I'm saying? He's a new hitman. People have to respect Crawford. Put respect on his name, because he'll stop you from the southpaw, stop you from the orthodox, dance around you and set you up. He's no joke, man. He's no joke. So, in my opinion, if Keith Thurman, one of the top welterweights of this day and age, is trying to fight Crawford, why is Bob Arum stopping this? As a hardcore fan, Bob Arum, stand aside. Somebody else that's a promoter, make this fight happen.